There is a silence in the desert of ancient Egypt that feels almost alive. It does not simply sit in the air, it waits. The wind moves across endless dunes, brushing against monuments that have stood for more than 4,000 years, watching empires rise and disappear. For centuries, travelers have stared at the pyramids and asked the same question: how? How did a civilization so ancient build structures so precise they still challenge modern engineers? But the real secret of ancient Egypt is not hidden in a sealed tomb or buried in a lost chamber. It is something far more powerful. It is written in the rhythm of a river, in the discipline of millions, in a belief system so strong that it united heaven and earth. To understand Egypt's secret, we must return to a world where the desert was not emptiness, but opportunity, where a river turned dust into life, and where kings were not just rulers, they were gods. Before pyramids touched the sky, the Nile decided everything. It flooded every year with astonishing reliability, and in a land ruled by sand, that reliability was survival. When the waters receded, they left behind black, fertile soil so rich that crops burst from it: wheat, barley, life itself. Around 3100 BCE, villages along this river united under a single ruler, traditionally identified as Narmer, marking the birth of dynastic Egypt. This was not only political unification, it was psychological. Upper and Lower Egypt became one body, and the pharaoh became its beating heart. The Egyptians called their sacred order Ma'at, truth, balance, harmony, and maintaining it was not optional. If balance failed, the universe itself could fracture. That belief forged something rare in human history: 3,000 years of remarkable stability. To modern minds, a king claiming to be a god may sound like propaganda, but in Egypt the pharaoh was believed to be the earthly form of Horus, and in death united with Osiris, lord of eternity. This divine identity granted absolute authority, yet imposed impossible responsibility. If crops failed, if the Nile rose too high, if enemies attacked, it signaled cosmic imbalance. Around 2667 BCE, one ruler would change architecture forever: Djoser. At Saqqara, he commissioned the Step Pyramid, the first colossal stone monument in history, designed by his architect Imhotep, whose genius would later earn him worship. This was more than a tomb, it was a declaration that Egypt intended to last forever. Then came the impossible. The Great Pyramid of Giza, built under Khufu around 2600 BCE, once stood at 146 meters tall, the tallest human-made structure on Earth for nearly 4,000 years. Millions of limestone blocks, aligned almost perfectly with the cardinal directions. Contrary to myth, it was not built by slaves, but by skilled laborers organized into rotating crews, supported by workers' villages, bakeries, and medical care. Evidence of planning, mathematics, and national purpose. The pyramid was not merely a tomb, it was a machine for eternity, a geometric staircase to the stars. Egypt did not need aliens. It had organization, engineering, and faith powerful enough to move mountains of stone. While monuments rose above the desert, another invention preserved Egypt's mind: writing. Around 3200 BCE, hieroglyphs emerged, symbols that were both art and language. Through them, kings issued decrees, priests recorded rituals, merchants tracked trade, and scribes preserved memory. Texts such as the Pyramid Texts and later the Book of the Dead guided souls through the afterlife. Writing became Egypt's insurance policy against oblivion, allowing rulers to speak across centuries. Empires fall when memory fades. Egypt refused to forget. Religion was not a weekend ritual, but the foundation of existence. Temples functioned as houses for the gods, where priests performed daily rites to sustain cosmic order. The sun god Ra journeyed across the sky by day and through the underworld by night, symbolizing eternal renewal. The story of Osiris, murdered and resurrected, offered hope that death was transformation, not annihilation. Mummification, refined over centuries, preserved the body so the soul could return, reflecting sophisticated anatomical knowledge and ritual precision. This belief system was not driven by fear, but hope, the hope that life continued beyond the grave. By 1550 BCE, during the New Kingdom, Egypt entered its imperial age. Under rulers such as Hatshepsut and Ramesses II, influence expanded far beyond the Nile Valley. Trade routes extended deep into Africa and the Near East, bringing gold, incense, cedar wood, and exotic animals. Monumental complexes at Karnak and Abu Simbel proclaimed imperial power in stone. Military campaigns secured borders, while diplomacy, including one of the earliest recorded peace treaties after the Battle of Kadesh, demonstrated political sophistication. Egypt thrived because it adapted, absorbing foreign influences while preserving its identity. But Egypt's strength did not lie only in its rulers, but in its people. Farmers planted and harvested with the rhythm of the river. Craftsmen shaped gold and faience into intricate art. Women could own property, manage businesses, and initiate divorce, rights rare in many ancient societies. Children trained as scribes or learned family trades. Homes were modest yet orderly. Festivals, music, and board games filled daily life with joy. Even beneath the shadow of divine kings and colossal pyramids, ordinary Egyptians laughed, loved, and dreamed. But even stone erodes. Internal divisions and external pressures weakened the state. Foreign powers, including the Assyrians and Persians, invaded. In 332 BCE, Alexander the Great entered Egypt and was welcomed as a liberator. Greek rule followed, culminating in the reign of Cleopatra VII, the last active pharaoh. Her death in 30 BCE marked the end of independent Egypt as it became a province of Rome. Political sovereignty faded, yet cultural identity endured. Temples continued rituals. Hieroglyphs were carved for centuries more. Egypt did not vanish, it transformed. Today, the monuments still stand against the horizon, defying time. The Nile still flows, as constant as it was 5,000 years ago. Archaeologists continue to uncover tombs, papyri, and settlements that reshape our understanding, revealing not a civilization of superstition, but one of resilience, innovation, and disciplined belief. The real secret of ancient Egypt is not hidden treasure or mysterious chambers. It is continuity, the ability to sustain a complex society for over 3 millennia. From the unification of Narmer to the final days of Cleopatra, Egypt built a world where the earthly and the divine were inseparable. The pyramids were not simply graves, they were statements of permanence. The hieroglyphs were not merely art, they were voices speaking across time. And the Nile, still flowing today, reminds us that Egypt's power was not magic, it was mastery over land, over time, and over the timeless human desire to be remembered forever.